Welcome to the channel. My name is Josh McNeil, and today we'll be going over the Alpha Series holster. I'm going to be diving into all of the, little details, but not going super in depth like I normally do. Otherwise, this will turn into a 25-minute video. So I'll keep things brief, show you all the main functions, and why don't we just go ahead and get to it. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be releasing a lot of in-depth videos, a lot of tutorial videos and shooting videos based on other different pistols and pyro and all that stuff. So if you like airsoft, if you like prepping, if you like all sorts of tactical gear stuff, please subscribe to the channel. It'll be much appreciated. But enough rambling, let's go ahead and dive into the Alpha Series holster. So the Alpha Series holster is going to be broken down into 3 different categories. We're going to have the Alpha, which is a non-light bearing holster like you see all right here on the table. The Alpha LB, which is going to be a light bearing version of the Alpha Series holster. So we'll have Streamlight TLR1s, Surefire X300s, and a couple of the Olight products available in the Alpha LB series. We're going to be staggering releases, so expect the next release to be about June, maybe early July. Next is going to be the Alpha X. The Alpha X is going to be a tracer unit holster. It's going to be non-light bearing, just like you see here, but it will accept up to about 1.5 inches in diameter suppressor, depending on the model. We can only get away with certain tolerances with that. The cuts will be lower and all of that, but we'll have another video based on that. Let's dive into the Alpha right here as it stands. The Alpha Series holster is made out of Kydex T thermal plastic. This is kind of the industry standard when it comes to holsters and holster innovations within the community. So if you're wearing an inside the waistband concealment holster with your real firearm, or an outside the waistband tactical holster, some of the Safariland setups, those are all Kydex, some of them are injection molded, but majority of the holsters out on the market right now that you're gonna get made for your replicas or your real firearms are mostly Kydex. The thickness we use is 080, but you can actually select thicker options on our website with our custom Alpha Series holster. You can select 08, 093, and 0.125 or 1/8 of an inch thick. But this holster is an ambidextrous holster built specifically around the airsoft replicas. So whether you're running an Elite Force pistol or VFC pistol or an ASG pistol, you can reliably fit your replica into our holsters. They're specifically designed around them. We don't use the real counterpart at all in developing these holsters. It's only the airsoft guns we use for developing these. These holsters are ambidextrous in our stock option. While you can still customize them, they still will ultimately have a ambidextrous function because of the hole pattern on either side. You can see that there's 2 vertical holes in line with each other on either side. Basically, this will accept our holster mounting plate. This aluminum, machined aluminum 6 series plate is basically going to mount up directly on this side for a left-handed shooter or this side for a right-handed shooter. This bolt pattern will let you use all of the mounts, including Blackhawk, G-Code, Safariland, Blade Tech, and some other mounts, but it's basically got all the hole patterns in here for the industry standard placards. So whether you're running competition hangers or a drop leg, you can bolt it up to this. The benefit to this is you can use a heavy Loctite and not have to drill out the head of your screws if you want to change mounts out. That's kind of a common thing with Kydex holsters with a through post, is once you Loctite that screw, it's pretty much in there. So with these ones, you can Loctite these and still actually break them with a hand tool or break them off with a hand tool. So you don't have to worry about having to drill anything out. Now, another added benefit to this is it does add a little bit of a standoff. So if you are wearing kind of a padded belt or a shooter belt or anything like that, the holster will kind of stand off just a little bit more. So you have a little bit more clearance to get your thumb and your proper shooting grip onto the pistol. And of course, the standard features are we do have an optics cut, and they will take 99% of all the optics on the market. Now I'm talking about all the directly bolted on optics. I'm not talking about any weird Amazon special optics that have to use these crazy adapter plates and they mount to a Picatinny rail or whatever. Not those. They'll work with like your Trijicon RMRs. They'll work with all of your aim points. They'll work with all of your hollow suns, all of that standard pistol red dot stuff. Along with that, you can have a co-witnessing optic or co-witnessing iron sights. You can run basically up to, I believe it's a 0.55 inch, so a little bit over half an inch height. There might be a little wiggle room on some different models, but 0.55 was the minimum standard we wanted to allow. So that's an awesome plus if you are running an optic. Next is adjustable retention. Adjustable retention is kind of a standard with just about any Kydex holster, but there's different styles of retention. We do have 2 screws for adjusting your tension. Now the one closest to the trigger guard is going to be your main adjustment for tension, because all of your retention is based off of around the trigger guard. You're not grabbing on an ejection port or any of the controls or anything like that. So your main adjustment will be under the trigger guard, but we do recommend to adjust the bottom one about as even as you would for this. You can really play with the dynamic of this retention style to add for a softer draw or a harder click when you go to re-index your pistol. So play with those adjustments, see what you like, mess around with it a little bit, and enjoy that feature. Next, we do have an open muzzle. So you can see here, we do have basically the Glock slide and the Glock frame profiled cut on the end of this Glock 34 holster. What this does is, one, it allows you for a smaller holster like the Glock 19 or Glock 17 cut to still be able to utilize the longest version of pistol. There's some downsides to that, but I'll get into that in a minute. Compensators you can use that are flush cut or even a little bit under. Anything that's smaller than the slide and the frame, you can go ahead and use. Same with tracer units. So if you have a really micro tracer unit on your pistol, you can still use that. You don't necessarily need the Alpha X for that. Getting into those length cuts, I'll slide this Glock 34 off to the side. And we do have a Glock 17 cut here where you can see it's just about flush with the Glock 17. And we have a Glock 19 where it actually comes down basically with a Glock 17 level here under the retention screw. And then it kind of makes an upward cut. This cut is going to be different per model, but it will be at the lowest point flush with that model. So the Glock 19, right where this sight ends, is where the muzzle is flush with. Now keep in mind, Glock 19 holster will still work with the Glock 34, but we recommend to have the most protection. So if you have this little itty bitty little micro holster here, you can still utilize this Glock 34 because it passes through the holster. The bad thing about this is if you go to sit down and you push up on it, you will remove the pistol from the holster. So keep that in mind. We will always recommend to order the longest variation, but you can do what you want. Next is going to be the funnel. The funnel feature is really cool. It's a very minor change to our holsters, but it's another feature that just adds the value to it. The funnel you'll see here around the ejection port area, it's literally a funnel that when you go to re-index your pistol, even if you're off just a little bit, you don't hit there, sit there and catch on anything. You actually, the pistol kind of funnels into the mouth of the holster, so that's a fantastic feature. The bracing ribs here, what these do is, it makes it look really cool, but the main function of the ribs is to add rigidity and remove the stress off of where the mounting platform lays. That's the main function for it, although it does add a lot of rigidity to the holster itself. So if you're playing an airsoft game and you're behind a bunker and you're really down on the ground and you're laying on your pistol for whatever reason, you don't have to necessarily lean back, draw the pistol, and engage. You can keep that the holster where it's at, draw it, and that holster won't collapse as much as a standard holster might. The next feature on this, now the Glocks don't necessarily have safeties and controls because, you know, this is my safety.
Well, that's my safety, sir.
You can see how we have ambidextrous blocking out, so you can use a Glock 19X, you can use any of the Gen 5 Glocks like the Glock 45 in with this holster. You can even use a Glock 18 because we have a little block out here for your happy switch. When it comes to like the FNX 45, for example, you do have a safety and decocker. With our blockouts on the backside, you can have that pistol engaged in safety or disengaged safety inside of the holster. And depending on your guard cut, you can still actuate the safety while it is in the holster. So nothing's locked in place, nothing's formed tightly around that safety to keep it in safe or out of safe. Next is the magazine release. Every single model is going to vary a little bit, but the Glocks, we actually have a very partial coverage, but it's raised up. So you can use your extended mag releases by, I want to say, about 1/8 of an inch extensions. So that's a 0.125 extension. And they are flared just a little bit of coverage. So what that does is if you're running and you brush up against something, you're not actually going to contact that mag release. You're going to contact the holster and the frame instead of pushing that mag release down. That's a big feature. That's one of the main reasons people switch to Kydex holsters, is because you don't have that notorious mag dropping or pistol dropping out of the holster. So huge plus. When it comes to the high kappas, those ones are actually beefed up quite a bit and have more coverage because there are a ton of different aftermarket options. So while we can't say every single mag release will fit, just about every mag release will fit. Most of the common ones anyways. All right, guards and muzzle lengths. Those are gonna be the biggest customizations you can make besides color. And I really wanna go over this quickly, but I wanna make sure that you guys understand this completely. There are basically 6 different variations you can have for a left-handed pistol, and 6 different variations you can have for a right-handed pistol, right-handed holster. We have our dual guards, which you fully select in that customizable range, which this one is a full outer guard and a full inner guard. You have a medium or mid inner guard and a medium outer guard, and you have no guards on either side on this holster. This holster is a Glock 34 length, this one's a Glock 17 length, and this one is a Glock 19 length. What you can do is you can select inner guard to be full, and you can select outer guard to have none, and that is this holster right here. This is basically your standard holster. This is essentially like what the Elite Series is. So if you go on the website and you select right-handed, your inner guard full, your outer guard none, this is how it's going to come for a right-handed shooter or a left-handed shooter, whatever you select. If you are ordering a stock holster or standard holster, or it just says Alpha Series holster instead of custom at the beginning of it, this is going to be basically the holster you get, minus the color. So you can select from black, cloudy brown, olive drab, and flat dark earth. Those are the only color options we have in that because those are our dealer common items. Basically meaning these are going to be the holsters we generally keep stock of. We're not going to keep stock of Wolf Gray or Glock 19 with this cut and this cut on the shelf. So there's going to be a lead time with those items. With the standard Alpha Series holster, there still will be a lead time, but you're looking at 100% sub 1 week for those items. I hope this all makes sense to you guys. And if you have any questions at all, drop it down in the comments. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video to your friends. If you have another buddy that always loses his pistol out in the mud and at the airsoft field, have him get one of these, because I can guarantee you he will never lose his pistol again. Well, he might lose it in his mom's basement, but he won't lose it on the field. So, awesome. Like I said, any questions at all, shoot us a message, find us on Facebook, shoot us an email, give us a call, comment down below, and you'll be talking to me, Josh, again. And stay tuned for more awesome content. We'll be going over the Alpha LB here shortly, as well as the Alpha X, which is estimated to release at the end of May. Maybe even a little earlier than that. But the Alpha LB and the Alpha are currently on the market as of today. So thank you guys again for watching. Stick around for more content and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for more cool stuff. Thanks guys, and we'll see you later.